All right, I'm here with Mr. David Roll himself.
What's going on? How y'all doing?
That's Mr. David Roll of David Ride and Roll.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
And we're here, we're doing a little short film, just letting everybody know what he does and how he does it. We here actually at his gym, ladies and gentlemen. So I just want Mr. Dave to come back and just explain what does he do and how does he do it. See all the bikes in here, ladies and gentlemen? That's one thing. He's the only black bike gym here in the Fort Lauderdale area, and it's called David Ride and Roll. Go ahead, Mr. Dave. It's on you.
Yeah, these are some of the bikes that I build. I'm an engineer by profession, so I like to be good and work with my hands. And right now, what I've been doing is taking projects. I've been buying old, rusty bikes and restoring them. These are two of my latest creations. I just learned how to paint camel.
So you actually built these bikes?
I actually built them.
Oh wow!
From ground up, painted the frame, camouflage, painted the matching helmet, camouflage.
Oh wow!
And these are some of my works that I'm doing. I'm gonna start actually promoting them and riding them for the customers and the people and let them see what I'm doing.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the man that got me started. Matter of fact, a year ago, July 3rd, 2015. And I'm telling you, his team has grown. We go out on Sunday mornings, and this is his gym down here in Fort Lauderdale area. If you want to learn how to ride bikes the proper way, Mr. David, just tell him where your shop is located.
I'm located on Andrews, downtown Fort Lauderdale, right next to Broward General Hospital. I've been here 2 years now, and I mostly do one-on-one personal training. And I'm sole owner, and I do everything by myself. I build the bikes, I do the training, and I do the group, everything by myself so far. It's good. It's good, healthy. It helps with high blood pressure, diabetes, weight loss, and just conditioning. So, I mean, I have a passion of doing it, and I couldn't be selfish with that passion, so I spread it on to other people, and that's what we're doing right here.
Now, how did you get started? Mr. Dave, how did you get started with doing your biking, your cycling, and everything?
I grew up in Boston, and in Boston, the big city, you needed ways to get from place to place, and the only way I was able to do that was by bicycle. And I started as a young kid, 9, 10, 11 years old, riding bikes just to see how far I could go, distance. And before you know it, I was riding 10, 12, 15 miles on bikes. And in order for me to see my friends, I would, get on a bike after work, after school, and go across town and hang out all day. And I always knew I had to be in before it was too late, so I had to rush back riding the bike, and the passion just stuck. And from then on, from a little kid to right now, I just always rode a bike.
Wow. When I first started, I know you had your son working with you.
Yes.
Tell me, how did you get your children involved? I know you're in the service, right? In armed services.
Yes. What I actually did was, part of the fitness in the military was they believed that everyone had some type of exercise that they could do to become fit. And what I was doing was, my kids were doing like sports. They were doing like the regular sports, basketball, football, baseball, swimming, the regular things that all kids did. I wanted to do something a little different. So I started researching, and I came across this guy named Major Taylor. He was one of the fastest bike riders champion in the world that no one knew about.
Now, Major Taylor, that was his actual name?
Major Taylor.
Okay, and was he, what ethnic group or color descent was he?
Actually, this was the catch. He was the first original champion of any sports of blacks. And that's what made him so significant, that he was so powerful but yet unknown. So it was my job, once I read his biography and started doing his research, that I put that out and get other people involved in it, and that's where Major Taylor.
So you took that on as a major plight,
as a major
wow,
major thing.
Wow.
And right now to this day, people don't know about him until I tell them.
Wow.
So yeah, he revolutionized the bike industry, and just by coincidence, he grew up in the same place I grew up in, Massachusetts. So that was an extra little catch to it. So I truly believe to this day that if more people ride a bike, and we have days like bike day where you don't drive, you just get on a bike and ride, you save lives, you save the environment, and you save money. And I really think we should push to have safer roads and more environments for bikes. I was hit twice riding, and you just recently was
I was just hit too.
Riding. And it's truly no one's fault, but because if they designate a safe road for us, just like a major highway, like a 95 for bikes, it would be perfect. They have it in Europe. They have it in certain local areas. Chicago has one, Minnesota. So we need something like that. And the only way we're going to do that is by keep doing critical mass, keep getting more people riding to the point where they can't ignore us, and they have to do something about it.
Record. Mr. Dave, I want you to get back into how you started with your kids after you left the service and started getting into the cycling.
So what I wanted to do was, it wasn't fair for me having all the fun riding bikes back and forth. I actually used to ride my bike to work. I enjoyed it so much. And I wanted to get my kids on something a little different than the regular basketball, football. And so what I did was I started buying bikes and getting them. Actually, I lived like not even half a mile from Pompano Airfield track.
Wow.
And we used to ride the bikes there after work, after school. And we started doing the 5-mile loop and lap, and from then on, years and years and years later, after they finished college or finished high school, we all met back up at that park and we would go riding.
Oh wow!
To the point where when I told them I wanted to put together a bike camp, because it wasn't fair for us to be healthy and in shape, and we needed to get other people into it, and that's what we did. So I started getting other people into riding, and I didn't know it was going to take off. I mean, it went from like one person to 2 people to 3 people. And now the people that I actually got into riding, they paid it forward, and they got their family into riding, and so on and so on. And that's the beauty about it. It's not just, it was not something that I just did. It was something that was out there that we didn't do.
Right.
Something that we do all the time, ride a bike. We just didn't know it could change your life.
Exactly.
And that's where we stand.
Tell them about the guy that you helped and his wife basically just say she'll give you her firstborn child.
One of my best stories I had, and actually I spoke to his wife today. It was a family that came out to ride with me, and the wife was worried because the husband was pretty overweight, and she was overweight herself, and I got them into riding. And he had a son and daughter. They got them into riding, and I just recently was out riding. I hadn't seen them in a while. I was recently out riding one of my little trails by myself, and I had a flat tire. And this guy goes blazing by on the bike, and he turns around. He stops and says, "You need some help?" And I looked at him. He looked at me, and he said, "Coach." And I said, "Call." And we looked at each other and we laughed. He's been riding now, I want to say a good 2.5 years, maybe more. Lost over almost 90 pounds.
90 pounds.
To the point where this guy is riding. His wife told me that he rides all around the country now. To the point where, he's also a computer analyst. So what he actually did was he wrote a program. So anytime his wife want to know where he's at, she just pulls it up and it'll show where he's riding in the city or out of town or whatever. So stories like that make me keep doing it.
Exactly. I know even with myself, I lost over 45 pounds with the help of you all know I'm in Total Life Changes, which is a health and wellness company. Also, when I got hooked up with Mr. David, I came here to sell him some products, but he actually sold me life. So we just gonna go ahead and he's gonna tell us a little bit about his bikes and what he do. We're going to commercial break. We'll be right back. All righty, we back, ladies and gentlemen. And Mr. David gonna talk about what he do outside of riding bikes. He also restore bikes. So I'm gonna let him go ahead and just talk to you about that.
Yes, to me, just like automobiles and homes and stuff like that, my biggest passion is to find an old abandoned bike, rusted to the max, and to just totally restore it. I don't know how I learned how to do it, but it's just something that I have a passion of doing. And I go around, shop, thrift stores, flea markets, and I find old bike parts, old bike frames, seats, and I build bikes. I just recently learned how to paint camouflage. I always had trouble, doing the frames. And
So these here are some of the bikes that you've built?
yep, those are some of the bikes I just restored, built, and ready to ride. Actually, I was gonna, let customers check them out, but they turned out so nice, I think I'm gonna keep them for myself and ride. So these are my two little projects that I've been working on the last. It actually took me a week to do this bike and 2 weeks to restore this bike. And trust me, both of these bikes were ready to be thrown in the garbage. When I got them out of the garbage, parts and whatever, resurfaced them, did the full body paint on both of them. First dab at military camouflage, which I'm an ex-military guy, and I think it turned out pretty well. So I actually went to the local bike stores to show them my work, and they were interested in me doing some projects for them. So these were two that I did for myself, which I'm gonna keep, and then I also just did this one for, you can't make the male bike without a female bike, so I ended up making this one in the camouflage likely, add a little more color, purple and orange for the women. So
Now tell us the difference between, because I noticed that some have the fat tires, some have the skinny tires. So run down, tell us what that
okay. This particular bike, woman bike here, is what you call a hybrid bike, meaning you could ride it off-road, on-road, and just whatever you want to ride. That's why it has a not too thick tire, but universal tire where you can ride either on the street or in the dirt road sidewalk. This particular bike itself is a mountain bike. It's strictly for riding on heavy terrain areas. That's why it has the bigger knobby tires, 29-inch tires. So it gives you that grip. And this particular one is what you call road bike. This has a small, slender, real hard, like 100-pound pressure tire for road and terrain and stuff like that. So that's the difference in it. So one, road bike is for long distance and speed. Mountain bike is for pleasure, mountains. And this type of hybrid bike is for like commuting, for like if you want to go take it to work and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, and these are some of my little projects I've just been working on the last one. This is another one of my personal bikes I just did. Since I know how to paint now, I can do helmets, I can do everything now. I just did this one in the helmet, light, and I love that, custom seat. This particular one I like to build now is for people from different nationalities and descents.
Right.
I have a lot of Caribbean riders. So what I'm doing now is, you tell me where they're from, and I try to build a bike in that type of, like this one, this has Jamaican wrap on it, and I highlighted it with some, with the lively colors that they use, So I mix it up. I have a couple of guys now that's doing mountain biking, so I'm doing mountain biking. Build this one. This one is a mountain bike. This is my own personal mountain bike. One of my riders, he actually was into mountain biking, but he was hurting his knees. So what he actually did was he said, listen, I want to buy a road bike, but I need to get rid of my mountain bike. So I bought his mountain bike for him so he could buy a road bike. And now, just this weekend, he did his first 35-mile ride with me.
Oh, wow.
So he's doing good.
Oh, wow.
He's doing good. And another one of my guys who wants to get into racing. So I ended up getting this racing bike from one of my vendors, and now he's going to be doing some racing with that. And this is my other little area. This is where it's actually supposed to be my fun room.
Oh yeah, because I remember that was just the pool table, and you done totally turned it into a total. He turned it into a workbench room.
What I actually turned it into now, my workroom. I just built this bike within the last 2 days. Actually, paint is still wet on it. I just
wow.
built this
Look
bike,
at
no
that.
particular one person for it, but I just like blue. Blue is my favorite color, so I said I'll build something with blue in it. Just finished it today.
Wow.
That's one of my projects. And like I say, with this one, this is what I call a mutt, because the reason why I call this bike is a mutt, the parts on this bike are from every single where but the store. I bought the frame off of Craigslist. I bought a tire from one place. I bought another tire from another. I bought tape from the flea market. I bought this. So this is the mutt. But once you put the mutt together, it turned out well. I think it turned out pretty well.
Yeah, it did. Look
So-
at the rich, vibrant colors that's in
And
there.
like I say, if anyone loves blue, which is my favorite color, there's a combination of 4 different blues in this bike. So it's
Now,
pretty
do
good.
you sell your bikes?
What I do is, because these bikes are normally expensive, so instead of basically selling the bike, what I do is I work out a way a person could afford the bike.
Okay.
Because I'm for the health factor more than anything.
Okay.
That way a person could come in and, like yourself, you wanted a bike, you knew you wouldn't have paid X amount of money for.
Yeah, because my bike actually costs $1,300.
Yeah, so I wouldn't expect someone to do that. So I work out a way where a person can. What I do is pay it forward. If I get a bike from a vendor and one of my customers get it, I take that money and I keep flipping over, and that's how I keep getting bikes.
Right.
So, like I said, my goal is not to make a business money thing out of it. Is to get people riding and get people healthy. You know, so I've been working in the medical field for 27 years, and this is a great way to do it.
Right.
And that's what I do. This is what I do at Ride and Roll. You know, it's relaxing. I enjoy building the bikes, and I enjoy even more riding bikes. So it's a good thing.
Now, even though this is a gym and you have all your bikes, you have an actual gym where people can work out, or did you take that away?
All I'm doing now is the bikes.
Is the bikes,
which
okay.
which I love.
Now, I know you also use this space for if anybody want to rent out, having parties or a baby showers.
Yeah.
Tell us about that as well.
Oh, my daughter, actually my daughter's was looking for a spot for her baby shower. And also my family was looking for a spot for a Christmas party. So we started looking for places with them. I'm like, wait a minute, I have a place right here. All I got to do is move some of this stuff out and see what happens. So I did that. I moved some of my stuff out and it turned out well. You know,
Okay.
so every now and then someone, you know, family or friend is like, hey, look, I want to have a birthday party for kids or family. So I'll, you know, set the place up for them, cater it to them. I bought some little custom chairs over in the corner so you could come in, some nice comfortable chairs, and they set up something like this, you know. So it turns out, like I said, I miss my pool room, but it's more worth it not being selfish to help others, and that's the main thing, you know. That's the main thing, helping others. You know?
Okay.
So, and that's what I do at Ride and Roll. Like I said, I have my sons help me when I need the help. My daughters help me when I need the help. But the main thing is I love doing it by myself. I can sit in here, I don't turn on the TV, I don't listen to the radio, I turn my phone down something, and I just build bikes. Sometimes I get carried away. I end up being here the whole night fixing on bikes. You know, like we had an event this weekend, and I had to get all these bikes together for everyone. We have critical mass coming up. I have to get these bikes together for everyone, but it's fun. It's fun. So when I retire from the hospital, that's what I want to do full time. Just build
Wow.
bikes, you know. So it's
Wow.
good.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of you. It's all about you with Darryl J. Holliday. And I'm telling you, this is a man that's very passionate, Mr. David. He's very passionate on not only making sales, not only building bikes, but making sure people are healthy. I'm telling you. Come on down. We're here. Give me your address, Mr. David.
My address is 1424 South Andrews Avenue, and that's right next to Broward General Hospital. You can't miss me. I'm on the main strip, right across the street from Tap 42.
Now, if they had to get in contact with you, how would they
They
get?
have to get in contact with me. I do appointments only. My number is 954-599-0973, and it's appointments only. Thank you.
All righty. So that's it. It's all about you with Darryl J. Holliday. See you next time. All righty. Bye for now.